In a partnership between Portola High School's World Language Department and the Spanish for Spanish Speakers program at Woodbridge High School, we are seeking the funding needed to bring free choice reading libraries to our 10 French, Chinese, Spanish, and Heritage Spanish classrooms. As shown in longstanding research from the field of language acquisition, extensive reading is one of the most effective, yet most underutilized, tools we have to help our students make huge strides in their language skills. As stated by Dr. Stephen Krashen, whose body of research informs best practice in world language education today, people acquiring a second language have the best chance for success through reading. With this funding, all 10 teachers impacted by this grant proposal will be able to start a diverse, free choice reading library with approximately $1,000 each. Once we implement our project, at least 1,200 students will be impacted by these classroom libraries every year. In future years, as our students' interests change, we can apply department funding to continue to enrich and add to these libraries over time, to be sure we have many good fit books for every student who comes to us, no matter their language level or their interests.
Free choice reading at their level allows students to explore their interests, whether they include science, video games, cultural traditions, or if they're just interested in reading a great story. Leveled readers also bring the voices of others, straight from other cultures, into our classrooms through offering a variety of characters and diverse authors' perspectives. Through comprehensible and engaging free choice reading, students can see themselves and others through literature that is written just for their level. This provides a level of student choice and individualized challenge for students who either need more exposure to high frequency language or are ready for enrichment and want to explore the language on their own.
Our students, even those in the same class, have a very wide range of language proficiency. Free voluntary reading libraries with high interest leveled reading options are a great way to differentiate our classes to meet the individual needs of current and future students. The classroom libraries funded by IPSF will also offer the chance to bring interdisciplinary connections into our curriculum as students learn about multiple subjects through reading in the target language.
In the past, a handful of teachers in IUSD have used their own funds to build small classroom libraries. However, implementing our project and scaling up to 10 teachers with larger libraries will help us harness the power of collaboration. The team will be able to collaborate on implementation and effectiveness and reflect on practice together. To assess the impact of the books on students, the team will implement regular checks for understanding to make sure students are comprehending what they read and choosing good fit books. One way of doing this is by asking questions of students that encourage them to connect to what they're reading. For example, what do you have in common with your main character? What gift would you give them? Or describe them in 3 words.
The team behind this proposal is prepared to share books to meet the levels and interests of the students in their classes. When space allows, some teachers are planning on combining their libraries to offer their students a larger selection. Books will be redistributed among teachers based on what levels they teach every year. A literacy-based approach to the teaching and learning of language is supported by the 2019 California World Languages Standards and the 2020 Framework for the Teaching of World Languages. A literacy-based approach is a marked departure from the way languages have traditionally been taught. Free choice reading in the world language classroom is an innovative yet research-proven way to push students' language proficiency forward.
It is also through the mirrors and windows of literature that students see themselves validated and learn to empathize with the experiences of others. Success for this project looks like students enjoying being in class, enjoying reading, making gains in their language proficiency, and connecting with good fit books that speak to their interests or that they can identify with. Our team is ready to implement a strong literacy based language program, and we have the support and expertise of district support staff on our side to ensure this project will be a success. In supporting this proposal, our hope is that this innovative contemporary approach to language learning will gain momentum in IUSD and that more world language teachers will be excited to leverage literacy to support their students' language and intercultural skills.
Reading in another language is important because not only you have to learn it like by listening and speaking, you also have to comprehend the words so you can understand it better. And sometimes like you can use the words that you learn and ask questions to teachers, and like you can learn a lot throughout the entire school year by reading. My favorite part about reading another language is like I like to challenge myself by reading like harder books. For example, there's this one Spanish 4 book called El Camino del Café, and even though it was like a bit more advanced for me, I actually like learned a lot from it, like a lot of new words that I could use in like class time. Yeah, I think it definitely has made it better because I never used to do reading last year, but now that I'm doing reading, like I learned a lot of new like phrases and words that people like say in everyday life because the books are like written to show how people like talk in everyday life.
I honestly really love reading because it gives me a sort of escape and it helps me like stress relieve. And not only that, I learned a lot of new things that I would have never known if I didn't read. And it also helps me a lot with my vocabulary. It's been improving since I've picked up reading again, and I love it. So, going back to the vocabulary thing, what I've noticed is when I read in Spanish, it's a lot easier for me to communicate and write, especially write, because I learn how things are said properly and the proper grammar, and it's also really interesting. I love the stories in Spanish. They're different from the English ones, and it's its own little world, and I love it, honestly.
Reading in Spanish will help me connect more with my culture and will help me improve my Spanish because I am Hispanic and I should be able to get in touch with my Spanish or Hispanic side. It's important to have a different variety because, especially in Spanish, just because you'll get a taste of different, how do you say it? Like different backgrounds, different perceptions, and of course, even within Spanish, like it will help us improve our vocabulary and our language speaking skills.
To me, one of the benefits would be I could connect more with certain stories, especially of like Latinx culture and stuff like that, because they have different stories and different things they've through, and I would love to learn more about that because I know I won't be alone. There's other people who have gone through the same experiences, and I want to know more about that.